Hello, everyone. Thank you, Michael, for the introduction. You got my first name pretty good. Thank you. And thank you to the entire ITT Tech administration for inviting me to participate in this exciting commencement ceremony. First, I'd like to congratulate all of the new graduates. I'm sure that your families are extremely proud of you. You can't imagine the sense of relief that they have right now. Some advice, this would be a really good time to ask for money. On a more serious note, this is a big day for each and every one of you. And I bet you can't wait to get out of your gown and start celebrating this incredible milestone in your life. You know, it's been said that commencement speeches were invented largely in the belief that we should send outgoing college students out to the world, but not until we properly sedated them. So I'm going to try not to do that, try not to be boring. And in fact, on the contrary, I hope to send you out of here full of more zest and energy for life than you came in with. You chose ITT, Technical Institute, for a variety of reasons, but one reason is true for all of you, and that is your desire, your interest in to work in a certain field, and your chosen field of study. And you, my friends, have all chosen fields that are alive and growing. To the criminal justice and computer drafting and design and computer and electronics engineering students, there are plenty of jobs out there just waiting for you to apply. Computer network systems graduates, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, your occupation is predicted to grow at a much faster rate than the general population, in fact 17%, between now and 2022. And software applications and programming graduates, you're expected to grow at a rate of 22% between now and the next decade. So get out there and make it happen. Every single one of you is in a great position. And I know with the help of your Career Services Director, Brian, back here, success is just waiting to burst out of each of you. Without knowing all of you personally, although I do recognize a couple of faces in the audience, I bet I know many of your stories. And how do I know you? Because I've worked in higher learning long enough to know why people choose education. I bet it wasn't an easy choice for many of you. I bet some of you wanted to change your mind at the last minute, right? I bet some of you wanted to quit once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. Some of you may have quit and then came back. But in the end, you're all here and you all did it. And no matter what your story, I know you. Some of you may have joined the military after high school because you just didn't have the opportunity to go to college at that time. I know that some of you may have fought in the Iraq or Afghanistan war. I don't think anybody here is old enough to fight in anything. Maybe they did. Desert Storm? I don't know. No further back though, right? Okay, good. And first, let me thank you for your service, because there's no occupation more worthy of our praise. So thank you. Secondly, let me reiterate how brave you were to take the plunge into getting your degree. Transitioning from the military to a civilian career is not always easy. But getting your education is surely going to propel you in the right direction. Some of you are non-traditional learners, I bet, just like my younger brother. My brother, with an IQ of almost 140, hated high school. Gifted and brilliant, he just couldn't learn like everyone else. After failing 3 times in a traditional college setting, he finally finished his education as an adult by attending a hands-on school much like ITT. You know who you are out there. I can see you smiling. Everyone always told you you're really smart, but you just didn't dig school, right? I know some of you are out there. Then there are you amazing parents out there. I saw a couple of you give roses to children. I assume they're yours. I hope they're yours. You realize that in order to give your kids the life you wanted them to have, you had to get an education. Whether the goal was to get a better job and make more money, or simply to set a good example, or both, you put your whole life aside to achieve this goal. As a mom of 3 young children myself, I know that being a parent is hard enough. Throwing in a full-time schedule and perhaps a full-time job to boot is worthy of a colossal trophy. So kudos to all of you. Some of you might be be career changers. Maybe you worked as a factory worker or a truck driver or store clerk for 5, 10, 15 years and decided that you wanted more. You're here today because you wanted to challenge yourself, to expand your horizons in a way that only you could do. You might be older, maybe you're a little afraid to take the leap, but you placed faith in yourself and you did it. Being here today in your cap and gown should truly be one of the biggest and best moments of your life. Lastly, some of you might be the first person in your family to go to college. The first person. Do you know what kind of trend you've started for your future generations? You have just set the precedent for your children and their children and your grandchildren's children. How does that make you feel? It should make you feel amazing. Your actions may have changed the course of the future of your family for centuries. Who says one person can't make a difference? Some of you even fit into multiple categories. You may be an ex-Marine with 3 kids and the first person in your family to go to college. No matter what your story, you did it. And if I left anyone out today, please accept my apologies, because I know that each and every one of you has a story, and I'd love to hear them all. What all of you have accomplished over the past few years is nothing short of incredible, and please don't ever forget it. So where do you go from here? I'm sure many of you already landed jobs in your field of study. Others are anxiously awaiting good news from a recent interview, and others might just be getting started. No matter where you are in this journey, there's a few things I'd like to share with you that I hope you will remember as you either start your first job, contemplate what offers you will accept, or are just beginning to decide what type of job to apply for. Life has probably thrown you a lot of curveballs, right? Well, it just gets better from here. I'm sure you have the perfect dream job in mind, or the ideal career path. Let me be the first to tell you that sometimes all the planning in the world won't help you. You never ever know where life will take you. My advice to you is to let life guide you and try not to control life. So when Brian here presents you with an opportunity to interview for a job that wasn't exactly what you had in mind, go to that interview. And remember this, you can't turn down a job that you haven't been offered. A very wise mentor told me that once. I never forgot it, and it really humbled me. So let me say that again. You can't turn down a job that you haven't been offered. Think about that. While I'm currently serving as the manager of MindTech Academy, which is an exceptional training and hiring program designed to bridge the skills gap in the software development industry, there was no major in college I could have chosen that would have, prepared me for this role. Although my education served as a solid foundation, it was my willingness to take on a variety of roles and responsibilities over the years that led me to this point. Allow me to explain further. So at age 13, I decided I wanted to be a child psychologist. I have no idea why, I just decided on that and I stuck with it. So I worked really hard throughout high school. I majored in psychology in college. I did really well, graduated cum laude. I needed to go to graduate school to get my PhD to become a psychologist, but I didn't do that. Instead, I entered the workforce. And let me just share my journey with you and it'll make some sense. So immediately after college graduation, I spent 3.5 years employed as a mental health technician, working with adolescent boys experiencing emotional and social problems. And another 1.5 years as a caseworker for the Office of Children and Youth, working with abused and neglected children. I was bit, hit, and punched, and had to deal with very sad situations day after day. While an incredibly life-changing and gratifying career, I realized after 5 years that this was not the field for me. However, from these experiences, I learned about compassion and perseverance, as well as organizational skills and time management. I spent the next 3 years in the advertising and sales business, working in a variety of roles. And during this time, I was able to apply my creative and writing skills, engage in daily problem solving, thrive amid fierce competition, and most importantly, learn how to deal with rejection and failure. In my mid-20s, I enjoyed the pleasure of working as a DJ and karaoke host on the side. It wasn't my full-time job. So aside from being tons of fun, What did I learn from this experience? An unbelievable amount. I was able to kind of hone my public speaking skills. Still a little nervous, but it makes it easier when you do it more often. Learned how to perform, and built my self-confidence to levels I didn't know existed. I doubt I'd be able to speak in front of this room, in front of all of you, without that really fun phase of my life. And at the turn of the century, and it wasn't that long ago, 1999, 2000, not that old, I started up a small litigation technology business with a friend, and it was here that I learned entrepreneurship. And in 2002, I finally made my way to the education industry. And for more than 10 years, I helped students just like yourself realize the possibility of earning their degrees and creating a better tomorrow. For the first time in my life, I realized a true passion for my occupation. I developed an amazing work ethic, acquired management and leadership skills, learned how to mentor others, and discovered how to build a winning team. So now, I'm at Mindtech, and I'm helping people to get their dream jobs as software developers through the opportunities offered by Mindtech Academy. Every last skill and lesson I learned in all of my past jobs got me to where I am today. Each day, I use compassion, perseverance, organization, time management, creativity, problem solving, competitiveness, resilience, confidence, passion, and leadership to achieve my goals. Psychology degree to manager of a thriving training program. My degree didn't prepare me for this. I prepared me for this. My education and choice of major didn't define me. I defined me. Don't be afraid to define you. Don't be afraid to take a job that doesn't quite fit into your plan. Be flexible with your choices and be open to new experiences. You never know where life will take you. Your degree doesn't define you, your job doesn't define you, you define you. You never know what can happen. Embrace your challenges and don't be afraid to stretch yourself to new heights. You've come this far for a reason, why stop now? So in closing, I'd like to leave you with an excerpt from what I consider an oldie but a goodie. I'm sure many of you have heard this before, and some of you may be reading it to your children right now. But it's a perfect way to tie up my message to you today. If you don't know this passage, I encourage you to go out and buy the book. It's a fabulous read. So from the words of Dr. Seuss. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guide who'll decide where to go. You look up and down streets, look them over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not-so-good street. And you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. It's opener there, in the wide open air. Out there things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsy as you. And then things start to happen. Don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along, you'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. Class of 2015, congratulations, thank you.